Hi everyone, I have Torn here. He's going to introduce himself and he's going to tell you a little bit about what is going on in the pandemic far as buying a home. Oh, you go ahead, Torn.
Hey, how's everybody doing? My name is Terrell Clark. I'm a loan officer with E-Mortgage, based in Atlanta. Well, I'm based in Atlanta. The company's based in Jersey. But you know, with current climate and everything, a lot has been going on, and I'm gonna go through it with Sierra with you guys to talk about it. Um, I guess that's pretty much it.
Okay. So I get a lot of times, right now, I have clients that come in and say, okay, with the pandemic and I'm not working, I'm unemployed. How does that work in regards of getting them approved, or can they get approved, or should they wait?
Well, in general, you have to be working to get approved for a loan. That's just talking about employment income. Of course, you can qualify with other kinds of income, child support, alimony, social security, things of that nature. But in general, you have to be working.
Okay, I'm just writing it down. Okay, and I also get about self-employed. How with the pandemic going, how is it with self-employed? Like,
It's just a few more steps that underwriting is maybe having you go through. Like, for instance, I'm doing one right now. It's one self-employed. You just have to fill out a simple P&L statement, and underwriting requested the past 2 months bank statements. But in general, you know, outside of that, everything is pretty much the same. You have to been claiming it on your income tax or have taxes for the business for at least 2 years. And you know, the biggest thing I get with that is showing negative income. So a lot of self-employed people love to show and write everything off. And then at the end of the day, they're not showing any income on paper. If you're not showing income on paper, then you can't do a loan. So before, when that would happen, there used to be bank statement programs where I'm looking at bank statements, be it your last 12 or 24 months, to come up with an income number. A lot of that stuff, it's coming back. It's rolling back out slowly but surely because of COVID. A lot was put on hold. A lot of programs were suspended. Certain programs have come back up, but that's one of the changes that COVID has done with the mortgage industry.
okay, what are some of the programs that you can name about one or two? It don't have to be that has came back up that was suspended.
A lot of bank programs, like the bank statement one I was telling you about, that was like completely suspended. A few of them are popping back up now. A lot of high risk stuff. Jumbos were suspended. They're coming back. They're coming back with a lot more restrictions, but they are coming back. Um, just more riskier loans in general.
Okay,
You know,
okay, okay. Also, I had one of the nurses asked me today, matter of fact, and she was like, "What if I got approved for a $400,000 loan?" And like
mhm.
I tell a lot of people, I didn't go to school for finances, so I couldn't. I have to get, with my team and see, what is what. But what she asked me was if she's approved for a $400,000 loan, but she only wanted to use half of that and the rest to renovate or like remodel like the kitchen or the bathroom. Can she do that?
Yes and no. Yes, she can use. I'll put it to you this way: the bank is not going to lend more in a house than what it's worth.
Uh,
So if the renovation is going to add value and can fit into what the house is worth, then yes, it can be done. If not, then no, the bank is not going to pay for that.
okay. Well, I'm so happy I didn't give her no information. Cause I'm like, let me just check back with you with that as well. And I let her know that I was gonna that we was gonna do this, and so she could join the YouTube channel as well.
Gotcha.
Also, I wanted to collaborate on far as like with the credit score, like where does their credit score have to be, and the kind of money they have to have saved, or should they have some money saved, or it all depends on their credit score.
I mean, it's always good to have money saved. I'm not going to ever say don't save any money. A lot of things that COVID did change was those down payment programs. Out here, Georgia Dream was like one of the biggest ones, and the hardest hit program that they had ended last month, actually.
Wow.
But in general, it's always good to save, always good to have your own money. They're still doing 3.5% down for FHA, 3% down for conventional if you're a first-time home buyer. So, and I mean, I do still have a 100% program, and they are still out there, but those programs are never guaranteed. So I would always say, always have a backup when trying to use those programs. And I tell that to people all the time.
Okay, okay. Well, that's good to know, because I know, I guess you could just say this pandemic is really telling people to save much as they can. So I hope they are doing that as well.
Right.
So, is it anything else that you would like to put out there for the buyers? Because that's pretty much what they ask me when they come in. And also the debt to income ratio. Like, how does that work?
Well, it's done on a monthly basis. A lot of people think if they have a high amount of debt that they don't qualify. It's really what you pay for that debt monthly versus what you bring in monthly. That's the debt to income ratio. So you can have $100,000 in student loans, even too. And let's say you're making, let's say the student loans cost you maybe about 300-400 a month. That's how we look at it. We're looking at the 300-400 a month number, not the 100-200,000 of debt. So that's how we calculate that. But I mean, in regards to the pandemic and everything, and even in general, it's again, it's always good to save. It's always good to have something and bring something to the table. As you can speak on the market right now, it's hard. There's not that much of a supply, and there seems to be a big demand. So, that extra having money if things do go over, if you have to go over the purchase price or what the home is worth, and you can come with a little bit of extra out of your own pocket to secure a deal. Yeah, have something said good to do that, especially if you fall in love with a house.
Right, because I know I had a property listed in Macon, and it was like a multiple offer situation, and
Hmm.
some of the buyers had to go over the asking price. So,
It happens a lot right now. So, I mean, it happens in general, but everybody's getting what they want for their house. Everybody's coming up with these ridiculous prices now that they weren't coming up with before COVID, just
so
because it's
you, so you see that too. I thought it was just me, because I look on there, I'd be like, now what? I'm like, I thought
yeah.
it was me.
Like for instance, a house, and this is very. I just went to an open house, not an open house. I went to a house earlier today that I had did an open house with another realtor maybe last year this time,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and in a year they went up on they want $40,000 more for the house in a matter of a year just because of what the market is. I mean, I'm not paying 40,000 more for a house, but I that's what's going on right now. That's the reality of the situation.
Wow.
40, 50,000 more, really. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow. That's a big, that's not like, that's a big gap.
Yeah, it is a big gap. It is a big gap. You wanting fifty
Mm,
thousand dollars more for a house that you didn't want last year.
right.
I guess it's price gouging, but it's not technically that. But it's the demand and supply curve. That's all it is.
Right. One more question, because with lenders, you always, because we as realtors, we always get, well, what if I do? I be like, you need to talk to my team who does that. But what about bankruptcy? Like, how does that work? Like, do it depends on what chapter you file? If
Yes, it does. It does. For Chapter 13, they're going to want to see, and this is for FHA, they're going to want to see a year of payments on time while in Chapter 13. After you're done with Chapter 13 and it's discharged, it really goes by the system. Technically, you wouldn't be disqualified for it. For Chapter 7, it will be 2 years for FHA before you can qualify.
Okay.
Now, in general, before COVID, I mean, the programs have still come back. There's always these 1 day out of bankruptcy programs and loans that we can do. But of course, the rate on those is going to be much higher, because there's more risk involved.
Right. So you talking about like the interest rate more higher?
Yes, the interest rate will be higher.
Okay. So y'all do have those programs though.
We do. But
So
those programs. You got to make sure you have to have funds. So you have to have your own funds. I mean, we're talking about maybe 10% down, 15% down. Those programs are for people who have assets, but for whatever reason had to file bankruptcy, and then still working, and that program is geared towards. Now, in
okay.
general, somebody who has assets and files bankruptcy, usually the courts make you run for your assets. So, I mean, it's not going to fit everybody. It's a very niche product,
Okay.
but certain people do fit in that mold.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Well, it was so good talking with you. I appreciate you, Torin, and I appreciate you trying to get my clients approved as well. And again, shout out your business and what you do and your contact information or website or whatever you want them to go on.
Sure. I'll give my office line. My direct number is 770-369-8013. The company is eMortgage, and that's emmloans.com. And then you can look me up. My branch is Cherry Hill, New Jersey, but I work out in Conyers, Atlanta area. And the name is Terrell Clark, Torrell, and Clark like Superman. I say that all the time.
Well, it was nice talking to you as well. And this is Sierra, your girl at Right Time Realty. My direct number is 404-734-3552. And you can email me at righttimerealtyga@gmail.com. And this is your girl.